The days of Titan being the weakest class for weapon DPS are long gone. Now a whole host of weapons send this class right to the top. The first clip here looks like a kind of ridiculous Peacekeeper setup. Who would actually use Manticore as part of a DPS rotation? But the key part here is the aspect Storm's Keep. I've covered this briefly in a previous video, and you might have seen how it turns Lemonarch into a DPS machine. But I want to cover it in more detail here, as there are multiple steps and considerations you have to make if you really want to maximise Titan weapon DPS. So here's all the data you need on the aspect and bolt charge in general. Infographics come from the Destiny data compendium. The aspect itself is pretty simple. Place a rally barricade to gain stacks over time as long as you're behind it. This does also work with tower and barricade, but just don't. The more interesting part is bolt charge themselves, where as long as you have any amount of stacks, weapon damage can build them up over time too. The method in which these are gained is based on mag size, with 15% of a mag plus 2 required typically. Area denial gels are a special case requiring 3 or 4 ticks, as these do not behave typically. But area denial gels apply a lot more than 4 ticks per shot. It is upwards of 20 if a target remains inside of it for its full duration, and that is just against a single target, so any of these are incredible for rapidly building up bolt charge stacks. And while Spark of Frequency does not work for passive gain from Storm's Keep, it will work for charges gained via weapons, raising it from 1 pair to 2. So basically you should always run this fragment, it's basically a must have. But there are a lot more weapons which fit this same type of criteria. Anarchy is one you might have seen quite a lot, and this one does work incredibly. It has a base mag size of 6. So following the criteria, we'll need 3 hits to grant bolt charge. But each shot from Anarchy applies tick damage for 10 seconds, over that duration hitting 20 times. So you could get 6 bolt charges for a single shot of Anarchy, or 12 if using Spark of Frequency. But with Anarchy, you're not really just firing 1 shot per 10 seconds. So the amount you will gain will be much more, double against a single target with the typical double stick, but if you have a boss such as a lock set where there's 4 targets, if you double stick all of them, you are looking at 48 stacks of bolt charge per 10 seconds, and that's just from Anarchy alone. Another great option is Lemonarch. This has the same activation criteria of 3 hits, but per arrow there is the initial impact plus 6 poison ticks. So each arrow fired is 4 bolt charge stacks with frequency, and this one is a primary ammo weapon. Also, Lemonarch spreads poison to other nearby targets, so again the lock set boss is taking double damage from this. And if you use it against a group of adds, you'll be simply cycling bolt charges on repeat. There's so many more weapons which fit this similar criteria, like the Wither Horde, or what about something weird like Cerberus +1. If I was to cover all of these it would take kinda forever, but I do have a list. If you do want to see all these weapons tested, let me know and I'll make a separate video on it. If there is anything I've missed, be sure to drop it in the comments, or join my community Discord with any clips of your own. Link in the description. Weapon damage is only the first half of a bolt charge build though. The next part is artifact mods. So back to the Manticore, why would I use this? Of course it is kind of decent with Peacekeepers, and it has a mag extending perk so it would be a natural fit. But more importantly it's Void. Void weapons are a must this season if you want increased uptime on rally barricades. And by the way, these barricades do stack, so you'll be gaining double or more passive bolt charge if you have multiple barricades placed by either yourself or teammates. The uptime increases from the artifact mod Volatile Marksman, which triggers Volatile on rapid void precision hits, using the same magazine size requirement conveniently. And when boosted, Volatile detonations will return class ability energy. So if you use a Void weapon, it will constantly return class ability energy with the same requirement of using a mag dumping style weapon preferred. So shout out Lemonarch. Also, there's another Void mod, Maligned Harvest. This one will apply weaken to targets hit with multiple volatile explosions. So on top of everything, you will also have a passive weaken source for just using a Void weapon. The boost for this perk is not available yet. There's also 2 critical mods which benefit bolt charge itself. The first is a non-negotiable in Flashover. This grants amplified whenever a bolt charge is cast, but also increases bolt charge damage by 150%. You are crazy if you're not running this mod, even if you're using bolt charges just for smallest amount. The next is Defibrillating Blast. The wording is a bit deceiving on this one. It makes out it's a champion only sort of mod, but only the effect of instant times 10 bolt charge upon stunning a champion is. The following effects are universal regardless of target. Bolt charges will now jolt enemies, and bolt charges will also restore 55 health and begin critical health regen. That last effect is what has allowed bolt charge builds to basically just face tank a huge amount of damage. And if you combine this with the rapid barricade cooldowns, you'll become almost impossible to take out. So overall, how do you DPS on Titan now? It comes down to this. Use Storm's Keep with any of the previously listed weapons. Remember that you can and probably should use multiple of these in a rotation. At least one weapon being void helps out a lot. Also equip Flashover and Defibrillating Blast to enhance the capabilities of Bolt Charge for free. You can use an exotic such as Hoyle to cycle barricades faster, or Cuirass to enhance Thunder Crash. It's simple but very effective. Thank you for watching.